everybody. Welcome back to the REDX podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Haley Johnson. I'm going to be the host today. We have a very special guest with us. We have Sarah Pinnell from the Paperless Agent. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Hey, guys.
We're so excited to have you today. We've never had you on, so I'm really excited to dig into your brain and see how we can help agents today. But before we get started, I just want to tell the audience that is watching live, first of all, thanks for tuning in live. We love seeing your comments and people showing up and asking questions. This is a participatory event, so if you have any questions for Sarah throughout the podcast, please feel free to comment them wherever you're watching, and we'll make sure to get those answered. And of course, always subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to the podcast at theredx.com/podcast. Put your email in and you'll get an email every time we have a new episode. So, okay, now that that's over, Sarah, why don't we, for people that might not know you, could you just give us a brief introduction, who you are, where you're from, things like that?
Absolutely. So as Haley said, I am Sarah Pinnell. I'm a social media expert and senior marketing manager at the Paperless Agent. If you've never heard of the Paperless Agent, we are a business dedicated to helping real estate agents grow their business through digital marketing. So we share tools and strategies, and we educate pretty much all of the above when it comes to digital marketing and just marketing in general. I have been doing this for almost 7 years now. So this is something I do, on a daily basis. I love doing it. Paperless Agent is based in Austin, Texas, which is where I'm originally from, but I moved to Dallas about 2 years ago after I got married. So I'm definitely a Texas native at this point. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm from Texas as well. So me and Sarah bonded before this about all things Texas, which we love. So, but awesome. So I think that is kind of what we're going to get into today, digital marketing for real estate agents and how to get listings through social media and different avenues like that. So I kind of just want to get started with that, talking about how to get listings right now in this day and age. You know, social media is kind of crazy. It's where a lot of people are finding a lot of success. And I think it's also a little bit daunting for people, maybe people that aren't so into social media right now, and things that are really popular and trends that are going on. It could be a little crazy and daunting. So why don't we start there for those agents?
Absolutely. Yeah. So social media is a huge powerhouse when it comes to getting listings, mainly because this is a great place to market yourself as a real estate agent. However, the way that we market ourselves actually does matter. It matters what we're saying on social media. It matters what we're not saying on social media. All of this is going to build our reputation. That's where the number one place people are going to look up their agent is online, right? They're going to Google you. The second that they refer to you, the second that they hear of your name, they're going to go and they're going to Google you. And all of your online presence that pops up is going to determine how these clients, how these potential clients interpret you as a professional or interpret you as an expert. And that really is what builds your reputation. And the number one determining factor for sellers in choosing their agent is that agent's reputation. That's from National Association of Realtors. So that's a huge, huge reason why we need to not only be on social media, but we need to be controlling our message on social media. And really what I mean by that is there are two main ways that agents like to market themselves. The first is just by talking a lot about themselves, saying why they're really important, talking about why they really matter, why you should work with them. And the second is by providing value, like advice and tips, real estate related information, any type of reports about their market. And that value speaks for itself on why you're that expert, on why they should work with you, on why they should choose you. And clients really prefer the second method over the first way of marketing because it just shows them that you care more about them than their wallet, that you care more about them than that transaction. And so all of that to say is your reputation is incredibly important, and how you choose to market yourself is going to determine that reputation.
This is awesome. I think if you're not on social media right now, I think that you could be really behind on where
Yes.
people, like you said, this is where people start their search for the real estate agent is online and through reputation. I think about like if somebody told me like if I saw maybe a billboard or something, I see them all the time, of real estate agents, versus like I saw them on my feed or someone even referred their social media account to me, like 100%, like 100 times out of 100 times am I going to choose that agent who was referred to me, and also that I see what they're about on social media. And that's kind of with everything. Like if you're going to hire someone to do a job for you, then you're going to go see what kind of person they are, what they're putting out there, their content, things like that. Um, and so I'm curious if, like, because there's a lot of different social platforms, do you recommend using like all of them? What are the best ones to optimize your content on, and things like that?
Yeah, so there are a ton of different social sites. I mean, we see social sites pop up almost on a daily basis. I mean, there was Clubhouse last year that
Yeah.
popped up and has pretty much become obsolete. There's Discord. There's a lot of social sites that I wouldn't recommend. My top
Mm,
recommendation is choose social sites that you can remain consistent on. So don't start a new social site that is just going to fall off and you're not going to be able to remain consistent, because that will still show up when somebody Googles you or goes to search you. So you really want to choose the ones that you're going to be able to remain consistent on.
mm.
Um, and those I would recommend: Facebook number one and Instagram number two. I think these are two very important social sites that if you're going to do social media, which you definitely should, you should start on Facebook and Instagram. This is where majority of people are going to be. It's where majority of people are going to go looking for a new agent. And when we think of millennials who are entering the first time home buying age right now,
Mhm.
this is where they're going. I mean, I know TikTok is a thing, but there's just not enough home buyers and sellers on TikTok looking for agents that there
Mm,
are on Instagram and on Facebook. So
mhm.
those are the top two that I would highly recommend if you just have no social media at all and you need to get started. Facebook and Instagram are the best places to start.
So with that, I know on Facebook there are like groups and pages and then just your profile. Would you recommend starting a page for your real estate business? Is this just on like your regular feeds? Like, what about that?
Yeah, you absolutely need a Facebook business page. So
Mhm.
on Facebook, they have very strict rules about advertising your business on your personal page. In fact, I've seen a lot of agents get their Facebook pages shut down in general. And by pages, I mean their Facebook personal profiles shut down in general because they are marketing their business on there. So you do have
Mm,
to have a Facebook business page. It's free to use, free to set up. There are a ton of amazing tools in the Facebook business suite. There's actually a free scheduling app. You can link it with your Instagram business account so you can cross post without having to create both posts in both places. There's ads in there, there's ads navigator. So, Facebook business page for sure. Set up those accounts, sync that with your Instagram, and then from there you can still post to your personal page. You can still share those business posts to your personal page, but they have to come from your business page as that organic source. So I
mm.
definitely recommend, if you don't have a business page, set one up. You don't want to risk getting your Facebook page shut down in general, because that's a very detrimental thing to your marketing when that happens.
Awesome. Good. That's good advice for sure. You don't want to get anything shut down.
Yes.
So then, when it comes to, I'm curious because I mean, I'm sure agents have tried social media, and sometimes, like you said, how important consistency is, and things like that. But I'm curious of what you think, where agents go wrong with social media, or maybe
Mhm.
some misconceptions of social media that agents have, that can help people, one, maybe get over a little bit of the learning curve, but also just make sure that they're being successful and using it correctly. So yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so a lot of misconceptions that I find agents have when it comes to social media is that they need to remain consistent without having a strategy. So part of
Mm,
being a powerhouse on social media, part of standing out on social media is providing value. You can remain consistent and you can have nothing to say, right? Like we can wake up on a Monday and think, you know what, I need to make a social post. I haven't made one in a few days. I will just throw anything up on social media. And if it's not providing value and if it's not making you stand out as an expert in your market, then it's really it's almost tone deaf, because it's not going to get people to look at you as that expert. So one major misconception is posting just for the sake of posting. We need to have a strategy behind everything that we're doing. A great way to do that is with the post formula. I'll talk about that in just a little bit, but having a strategy is important. Again, it goes back to that reputation. It goes back to having intentionality behind your message and providing value. That's the number one piece of advice I could give all agents, is to make sure that you're providing value on your social media sites. By providing value, you can really set yourself apart. You'll also start getting people that don't know you to follow you. So that's a great way to grow your accounts, is by providing that value. And providing value is really just sharing your insights into real estate, your expertise into real estate. I think a lot of times we don't understand or we don't realize that people who aren't in real estate every single day have no clue about real estate.
Right.
Like they really don't. They don't know the terminology. They don't know the market. They know that houses sell, and that's almost the end of their knowledge. And so just by sharing that knowledge you hold in your headspace is a good way to provide that value. Another misconception that I see a lot is agents don't want to be on video. They're very camera shy. They don't think that they have anything to say on video. And that's the one thing, if I could get across to everybody, is video is really going to be your selling point. It's the best way to get people to know, like, and trust you. And that trust is going to build those relationships that turn into actual listings and leads. And you don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be a model. You don't have to be an influencer to be on video. On social media, video is very approachable, right? It's very forgiving. We don't have to have a lot of high edited videos. It doesn't have to be a huge production. You can just open up your phone. You don't need a camera, or you don't need a video camcorder. Can't think of the word for
camera. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, right? So we don't need any crazy equipment. You can just use your phone. And you can film yourself talking about real estate. You can film yourself on a listing. You can film yourself interviewing clients. But it's a very forgiving format. So if you just get on video, it will take you a long way. And you'll see how much engagement you're receiving from those videos.
I like that, because I think a stopper would be wanting to be perfect and making sure that you spend thousands of dollars on a video camera and like all of this whole production thing, when really most of the videos like on TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that stuff is just their phone in front of their face. And so I think that just getting over that hurdle of wanting to be perfect and just starting. I also like that you said to make sure to have a strategy, because I think I see that a lot. Like on our REDX Instagram account, I'll go through people's posts and just be like, okay, this was a choice to post or something like that, where it's just posting for the sake of posting. But if you have no strategy behind it, one, it's not going to be successful. And I think once you have a strategy, it's easier to be consistent. It's easier to get in front of the camera, and it makes everything a little bit more seamless. So I love that. I do want to get into your post formula, because I think the next question that people are probably thinking are like, okay, well, how do I post? What do I post? Like, you know, with the fear of getting in front of the camera, knowing some sort of formula or something to help them, I think is huge. So let's get into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the RAVE post formula is a strategy you can follow. It's a post formula you can follow. We created this specifically for real estate agents because as marketers, we understand just how difficult it is to come up with content. And we know that as agents, you have about 1 million things you're doing on a daily basis, and coming up with content is at the very bottom of that list. While it is so important because you need to be able to market your listings and yourself in a way that provides value, we also understand that it's just incredibly difficult to come up with that content to know what to say on a consistent basis. You might have an idea 1 week, and then 3 weeks from now, you have another idea, and that's not consistent enough. So the post formula is called the RAVE post formula, RAVE. So think of, like a party rave. And so this post formula It's something you can do. We recommend on a weekly basis, right? You don't need to post every single day. We recommend at least 3 times a week you should post, but it's
Mm.
4 different topics that you can post about. And these topics should help you come up with that content, come up with what to say, come up with value that you want to share with your database, that you want to share with your audience. And so the first part of that formula, the R in RAVE, is real estate. And this sounds probably very basic. You're thinking like, okay, well, I already post about real estate, but the way that we post about real estate in our own business. So at the Paperless Agent, we have a brokerage, an associate brokerage called Creth Partners, and we run all of our marketing on Creth Partners. And that's how we're so knowledgeable into what's working right now for agents. We know what's working in the market because we're doing it ourselves. We're in the market. And the way that we post about real estate is highlighted features. So I'm a huge proponent in please do not post just pictures of the front of a home. That's very boring. You can find that on the MLS. You can find that on Google Street View. You can just Google the address of a home and the front of that home will pop up. And people aren't coming to social media just to look at pictures of the front of the house. The reason we come to social media is because we're nosy, right? And we want to know what's going on. We want to know the inside scoop. We want to know things that we wouldn't find out other places. And so highlighted features are just a great way to share real estate related posts. You don't have to have a luxury listing to have a highlighted feature. It's all about the way you describe that feature. It's all about the adjectives you use. So, a regular bathroom could be a spa-like bathroom if there's a great tub in there. You can have an oasis backyard if it's a really nice landscaping, a chef's kitchen. All of these things are ways that you can talk about and share highlighted features of a home. Along with that, listings sell a lot quicker on the MLS than they do on social media. And what I mean by that is just because a home has sold does not mean that you have to stop marketing it. One of the ways that we market homes is after they've sold. So you share your expertise by sharing, hey, this home sold in 24 hours, 48 hours. It had X number of showings. We had X number of offers. So keep sharing those posts, keep sharing those listings. It does not have to leave your social media just because it's left the MLS. And there's a lot of ways that you can share those stories. A great one I like to include is one of our agents, Jonathan, a part of Creth Partners. He's actually one of the co-owners of Creth Partners. He has a great negotiation story where he helped his buyers secure an additional acre to their contract. They saw the sellers had some more land. They wanted to include an additional acre. Jonathan negotiated that contract for a great rate. So we just like to share that story. It's about sharing what it's like to work with you as an agent. Again, without being braggadocious, without having to beat your chest and say, I'm amazing because I did this. By sharing those stories, you're sharing that value and in turn sharing why people should work with you, why your clients want to work with you.
I love that. I wrote like a bunch of notes just from that because I'm thinking this is marketing. You have to think about what someone on the other side of the phone is wanting to look at. And so little things like that. I like how you said sharing stories because that is what people want out of content, and they want things like that to know who you are as an agent. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of leads into the second part of that RAVE post formula, which is the A, and that is advice and tips. So we really recommend sharing advice and tips in the form of video, 60-second videos, 30-second videos. These will be Instagram Reels. They could be TikToks. They could be Facebook, YouTube Shorts. We recommend filming these in portrait mode. So that's just up and down on your camera. That's the way that these are viewed mobilely on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, all the above. But these are just pieces of advice that you would give your friends, your family, your clients. I like to tell agents, just think of questions that you've answered. Think of things that people won't normally know, things that they wouldn't understand. If you just have a topic that pops in your head, stop for 30 seconds, film a short video on that, share that expertise. And the reason we recommend doing this on video and not just a post about this is because, again, video builds that know, like, and trust with people. It gets them to know you, like you, and trust you. It shares who you are. It also shares what you look like, right? The more people recognize our faces and our voices, the more they feel like they know us and they trust us. So when that interaction turns into a business interaction, they already feel like they know you. And I don't know if anybody has experienced this, but when you walk into a listing appointment and that client opens the door and they're like, oh my gosh, hey Sarah, like welcome. I can't believe I get to finally meet you in person. I feel like I already know you because of all of your videos. That's a great feeling. And it's also a great feeling when you finish that appointment with a signed agreement, and it's because they already trust you. You don't have to go through that trust building process on the appointment because your videos have already done that for you. And so again, just sharing that advice in a short video. It doesn't have to be long. I know every agent I've ever talked to, I know for a fact, can talk about real estate for at least 60 seconds, at least 60 seconds. And so this is very easy to do. It's very easy once you get the hang of video. Obviously, I know it can be a hang up, but once you get the hang of video, it's a really easy thing to do. And sharing that advice just provides value.
Love it. Yeah, I think so many people, I mean, everyone wants to know about the market. I mean, that is like the easiest thing you could just get on and answer questions about. And as the real estate professional, you should be positioning yourself as this expert that knows about all of these things. So people get onto your social media feed and they see, oh, okay, this is the person that I need to trust with my questions and things like that. So awesome. That's A.
Yeah, absolutely. That's A. All right. So the third one is V, and that's going to be valuable information. And this is slightly different from advice and tips because when we talk about valuable information, we're really sharing reports and statistics. We're sharing information that we got from reputable sources, reputable sites. This is a great way to share reports from NAR, to share reports from your market, your brokerage, any associations you're a part of. It's a great place just to share that knowledge and to let people see you as a resource for this knowledge. Because when they see that you're sharing this information, a lot of agents might think that, oh, well, I didn't create this myself. Is that going to take away from my expertise? And no, it's not, because what happens when you go to the doctor and you know that they're researching, the medicine that they want to prescribe you or something, that doesn't take away from them being the expert. That just shows you that they're working for you and they're working with you and they're there to help you. And so think of that when you're doing these valuable posts. What's something that's going to help people in the long run? And it might not help them today, but they might see that post, save it, and come back to it 3 months from today, a year from today, and be like, you know what? I had some home buyer tips I saw. Where did I find that? Let me go back because I'm a first-time home buyer. And so all of that information is valuable and relevant. And again, the only difference is you back up that information with these reports and these statistics from reputable sources.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it all goes back to just bringing value. So I love it.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So the last part of that RAVE formula is E for experiences. And we are huge proponents in sharing personal and life experiences. A lot of times agents have been told that you should keep your personal life and your real estate life separate, but that's not the case. I mean, it's 2022, authenticity and transparency are expected. It's almost like a requirement to be successful on social media. And as agents, like, we are in tune with our clients' lives. We are almost like their friends. We probably are their friends at a certain point in that client relationship. And so it's really important that we're sharing these experiences to connect on a deeper level, because when people go to your accounts, they see your real estate value, but they also see, oh, okay, so Sarah, she's got a family, or, oh, she likes to travel. She's got these hobbies, anything that they can relate to that really just builds a huge relationship that will in turn be a lot easier to turn into a business relationship. It's all about that trust. It's all about that trust building process. And you might not think you're providing value with experience posts, but you're providing a personal value that is very relatable and makes you human, because we are human. We're not just real estate robots. Yeah. We're humans. We have a whole life behind this career of ours. And so experiences are very important to post. This could be anything from shared interests, shared principles, shared hobbies, family photos, photos of your pets, vacation photos. I had an agent I spoke to the other day, and her niche is recipes. So she's got a recipe blog that she shares with her real estate blog. And so she posts a recipe every now and then. On the end of her email, she tags on a recipe. And so that kind of interaction really brands her. So anything like that you can use for personal experience, for personal branding, is a great way to include that. There is a rule, though, because we want to make sure that our accounts and our posts are providing real estate value first and foremost. So I like to tell agents the 80-20 rule. 80% of your posts should be real estate advice and tips and valuable information. And then 20% can be experiences. So 1 out of every 5 posts can be an experience post, can be a personal relatability post.
I like it. I keep saying that, like, oh, I love this. But I like this one because people like you said, people like to connect. And that's why, I mean, we get on social media to catch up with our friends and our family. And that should be the same with you. And I follow so many people, they'll just take me on like their morning routines, and which is cool because you'd think like, oh, cool, like you're getting up to go to the gym at 6 a.m. and then you're going and you're getting on the phone and prospecting or something like that. But what that shows me is not only like your life, and it gives me a glimpse into your life, but also that you're working hard, that you're a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do on a day-to-day basis as a real estate agent. And so that little glimpse is personal, but it's also, it helps you look like, yeah, like you're a hard worker and things like that. I'm curious with the difference with like posts versus like stories or like reels, like, cause you say the 80-20 rule. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that changes with like stories. Cause I think stories sometimes are a lot more personal. Like they're like right off the cuff. It's happening right now, or pictures and like things like that. So do you keep that no matter the medium, or what do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the 80-20 rule really is only relevant to your new or to your profile. So your profile grid, what they
Mm,
see when they go to search you on Instagram. When it comes to Instagram stories, that is a great place to share personal experiences, to share a day in the life, what it's like to
mm,
be you, what it's like to work with you. Those are great places to share that. You don't have to keep the 80-20 rule when you're doing Instagram stories because they disappear every 24
mm.
hours. It's not going to be something where someone goes to your account, they're only going to see what it's like to live a day in your life. They're not going to see anything real estate related. So
Right.
Instagram stories are a great place just to include that whenever you can. Like you said, off the cuff, it's just like in the moment type of post. That's a great place to include those.
Awesome. Cool. And we got a question while we were talking. Deanna says, hey, Sarah, are there any unique or untapped features on social media that you recommend?
So I'll talk about Instagram Reels in just a moment, and really that's video. And I know that's not untapped, or it's not unique, but it is something that we all should be doing and not enough of us are doing. But the first one I
Mm,
want to talk about is engaging with other people. Because
mm,
social media was created as a way to connect with others, right? It's a medium for us to connect with people on a daily basis. And a lot of times we forget that. We think it's just a marketing platform. We think
yeah.
it's just us sharing our lives with other people, sharing our business with other people. And a great way to build relationships and to connect is just to go on Instagram, go on Facebook, whatever social sites you're at, and just comment on people that you follow. Comment on their posts, like their posts, share their posts. It doesn't have to be real estate related for you to be interacting with them, because that's going to build that bridge. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have people that I followed or that I'm friends with that I could not tell you where we met, right? It's like we met at a wedding. We met, I don't know, it's 10 years ago in college. And I see something that I think is relevant, but I might be a little shy. Like, well, is it going to be awkward if I comment? Are they going to wonder who I am? And just reverse that, because there's a lot of
Mm,
people who follow you that might not really exactly remember where they met you, and they have the same reservations. But if we take that step first and we talk with them first, we comment on them first, they're almost going to feel like they owe us something in a sense, and they're going to respond and do the same thing on our pages. So it's just a great way to connect, kind of keep growing your audience, keep growing those connections. So definitely connecting through social media, spending time engaging with your followers on social media is a big one.
I love that. Awesome. And then just kind of wrap up, we have like a couple minutes here. I do want to talk about video best practices. You kind of mentioned it a little bit when you're talking about the two things. So let's just end there, maybe a little wrap up of what agents should be doing with video. Like you said, it is king right now. That is what every platform is moving towards. So let's end there.
Awesome. Yeah. So video, very important. A few tips for doing video is you always want to film portrait mode. Again, that's just up and down vertical. You also want to start with a question or a promise. So you don't want to start by introducing yourself. People can go to your page to find out who you are. You want to start with a promise. So 3 things I love about real estate, 2 pieces of advice for home buyers. The one thing you need to know about social media. These are
Mm,
great promises. They're great questions to talk about on your pages or on your videos. Transitions are also very important, and we don't have to get crazy with, the jumping transitions, or like you jump and then you're in a different outfit, or all of these things. You could just simply, as you're filming, just change the angle of that camera. And those are great transitions because it just kind of changes up the medium. It changes up the viewer's eye. And so just little slight transitions like that are great. And the last real big piece of advice I'll leave you with is captions. And by captions, I'm not talking about what you write on your video before you post it. These are like closed captioning or subtitles. And these are so important, not just for accessibility reasons, but because a lot of the times we do not have the sound up when we're watching videos. Like, we are in public, we are out and about, maybe we're like laying in bed next to our spouse and they're asleep, and so we can't have the music up too loud, but we still need to get that value from these videos. And so captions are so important when it comes to your videos, and you can easily add them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. All of these sites have a captions button. You don't have to transcribe it yourself. It will transcribe it for you. You can edit that transcription, and it's just really important to add to all of our videos.
I love that. I love that tip because there's so many times, even like just stories that you're posting, because it's just so much easier to read and not have to turn up the music or anything, because then you'll just skip it immediately if you can't get any value from it. And so that's important. Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of these social media tips. I think it's so important right now, especially what you said about the number one determining factor for sellers is an agent's reputation. I completely agree with that statistic. I think that is so important for agents right now. And so thank you so much for bringing your expertise and sharing these tips. I hope that the agents that are watching have written these down, or we'll go back and listen to this again to really like see the tactical things that we talked about today. I think it's been awesome. So thanks, Sarah. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching. I'm sorry if we didn't get to everybody's questions, but we appreciate you coming and asking them. Of course, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are here every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I also wanted to ask Sarah, if anybody wanted to reach out to you or find you, where can they go?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on social media, all social media at The Paperless Agent. You can also go to thepaperlessagent.com. We've got a ton of blogs and resources all about social media. So be sure to check those out as well if you need some more information. And thank you guys for having me. This has been great.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks everybody. We will see everyone next week, next Thursday, 1:30, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.